Hi everyone, so we want to welcome you to our kitchen, viewers of Homemaking Heather and the Backwoods Patriot. We're going to be posting this video on both pages. So hi everybody. Today we are going to be making piggy soap, also known as lard soap, soap made out of lard. So I've got everything set up in our kitchen to show you guys how to do that. Start to finish, everything set up. So let me get everything going and we will be back. For this recipe, you are going to need 2 pounds of lard. This can be found in the shortening section of the grocery store. This tub of lard that I have, I'm showing you here, is actually 4 pounds. So I just took half of it. You do have to measure. It has to be precise. So in the bowl next to it, I've measured out 2 pounds of lard. So we have a whole nother batch we can make with the container of lard that we have right here. You need a digital scale or some sort of scale that is accurate. That is our scale. It's fairly accurate. So that is what we have used to measure all of our ingredients. Our next ingredient is lye. We have this container. It's 2 pounds of high quality food grade lye, which obviously you don't need 2 pounds. You're only going to need 4 ounces of lye for this recipe. So we have used our scale to precisely measure out the 2 ounces, and that is what is in the little container. We measured out 2 ounces. You're also going to be needing some gloves, like some sort of glove, like maybe that you do dishes in, or something for safety. Gloves for safety. I don't have any on right now, and it's really not a good idea to handle the lye without gloves, so you really need those. And safety goggles. I know a lot of people choose not to use them. I am one of them because I don't really have a pair, so it's not really wise, but I recommend that you put a pair of goggles on while you're doing this, because lye can burn your skin. So I will also include in the text below some information about lye and what you can do if you happen to get it on your skin. So maybe read that before you try this out for yourself. Next, you're going to need a metal pot for the stove to melt your lard in. You are also going to need a pitcher or container that you can easily dump your lye and water combination in, which you're going to need water. The ingredients call for 12 ounces of water. I will have the ingredient list down below since I'm kind of doing this all jumbly, but yeah, you'll need 12 ounces of water. But what you're going to be doing is you're going to be mixing the lye and the water, and then you're going to be transferring it into the melted lard. So you need something that can easily pour into the lard safely, but it's going to be thick enough not to melt, because the lye is going to get hot. So I'm going to be using a real big, thick, hard plastic bowl. I wouldn't recommend using thin. I know some people do, and metal, if you do it in a metal, it's going to get hot. So it's kind of up to you. You might want to look up a little soap safety before you try, or I can link you down below to a few things, like I said with the lye, because I just want everybody to be as safe as possible. Next, you're going to need some sort of molds. So I am using, let me show you real fast. I'm going to be using these silicone cupcake containers in this. I'm going to be making little soap tarts. I also am going to be putting the soap in these Lego molds, and it's also silicone. You can also use like a cardboard box and just line it with plastic wrap, or I have also read in this book that I got the recipe from that you can put it in a Pringles can, and then you can just, after it, it hardens, you can cut it up in the can, or you can use a milk jug. There are all kinds of different options, but for today I'm just choosing to use the silicone because I'm going to find that easier. But if I was using this in the box or in some sort of silicone like loaf mold, I would definitely have one of these to cut the soap. It makes pretty little ridges, and I just think this is a neat tool for soap making. I also have here some different scents that you can put in. This one is pineapple upside down cake. I have blueberry muffin. I also have some essential oils, lemon. I think that would be good for a kitchen soap. I have peppermint. I really love peppermint soaps. And I also have birch because I think it smells like root beer or birch beer or whatever. So, you can take your different, different containers and put your soaps and scent them differently or color them differently if you like. I'm not really going to be going into that today. We're just going to be making a simple lard soap. So, I hope that you all have followed the safety precautions and have read the instructions, and now we're going to get started. Here is my 2 pounds of lard. I'm going to be transferring this into my metal pot over on the stove and melting that down. Alright, I now have my lard in the metal pot right here on my stove. I'm going to be turning that on medium heat. So don't do it on high, do it on medium. We're going to be cooking this down to liquid on medium heat. And I also forgot to mention that you're going to need a stick blender for this. I can't honestly find mine right now, so I'm going to be using just my handheld mixer, and we're going to hope that that works. I'm not really prepared, but I wanted to make soap today and I wanted to show you. So we're going to be using that, but it really works best if you have one of the stick blenders. So that is also on the list of things that you should have for this project. As you can see, it's already starting to melt. So I just have it, like I said, on medium heat. Now, while this is melting, I'm going to go start making my lye and water mixture. I have my hard plastic bowl. I have my 12 ounces of water. And I have my 4 ounces of lye. This is where you need to be careful. This is where you can get injured. So we're going to be very careful. We're going to put the 12 ounces of water into our bowl. Got that. And then we are going to slowly sprinkle in the 4 ounces of lye. And then we're going to gently swirl it to dissolve. But we're going to be very careful for this part. So we're just gently doing that. We don't want it to splash back up on us. Because, as you can see, there's already a reaction. Well, that was a little too fast at the end. So now we're just going to gently swirl. This is going to get super hot. So, now I'm going to turn the camera off for a few minutes, and I'm going to allow this, once I have it dissolved, I'm going to allow it to cool. And I'm also going to allow my fat on the stove to cool also. Can you see the steam coming off of this? It's very hot. So, once it is cooled, it's going to be cool to the touch. Like, I'm going to be able to touch the side of this bowl and not burn myself. I recommend you being careful when you're testing it. I think I've got that pretty good. So, we're not going to get that on anything else. I'm going to put it over here into my little container. And like I said, we're going to let this cool down before we do anything else. So, be very careful. Something else that I wanted to point out is the lye mixture can fill the air with kind of like a yucky, I don't know. It kind of makes you cough a little bit. So especially if you have any sort of like asthma issues or any of that, I would recommend wearing one of those little mask things. That might be helpful because I don't even have any issues and it's gotten me, as you can hear, a little choked up. Okay, I'm going to be slowly adding my lye into my mixture of, well, not my mixture. I'm going to be using my lye mixture and adding it to my fat, my lard. So, see, you can see the reaction. Alright. I am now going to be blending this together. Like I said, I recommend highly you using a stick blender. This is not a good idea really, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be very careful and wear gloves. So you're going to want to use your stick blender and put it all the way to the bottom of your pan. And then you're going to go ahead and just use your stick blender until you start to see trace. And what trace is where your concoction here is going to like drag along. You're going to be able to see a trail in your soap mixture. So I will be back with you as soon as we reach that point. Okay, two things that I wanted to mention was that number one, I did take my pot off of the stove to cool down. I was just filming. You need to take it off the stove to cool down. Also, trace takes quite a while to reach. I have definitely reached it and then some. I should have been recording before this. So this is a little thicker than what you're going to want it. You're just going to want it where your spoon is dragging. So I'm going to have to hurry and get my stuff mixed and done so that we can get it in to our little silicone things, because you do not want to wait too long. Alright, so we have our scent put in. We went ahead and did that. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to turn out. I just kind of did it what I thought, you know, was not too strong, but yeah. So we're going to go ahead and dish these out into the little silicone tins. Do you want to do some of those over there, Mr. Backwoods Patriot?
Well, I reckon I can figure it.
And these don't have to be perfect on the tops either, because you can, as you know, you can shave soap off. So if you're going for like a real aesthetically pleasing bar of soap, don't worry. So we chose the scents Blueberry Muffin for the ones that I'm dishing out, and Lemon for the ones he is putting in. So, like I said, you just do this, and you want to do it kind of fast because you don't want it to get too thick. Like I said, I thought that the lemon would be a good touch for bars of soap that you might want to keep in the kitchen, because these are not, the lard soap is not very sudsy. I know some people really like sudsy soap because they feel like it gets them cleaner. I don't know. I think there's some sort of association with suds and clean, but that's not the case. So that a lot of natural homemade soaps aren't sudsy. Some are. It just depends on what recipe you use. But this isn't going to be very sudsy. But this is definitely a favorite of a lot of people, and it's really easy to make. Okay, and one thing I wanted to add is this blueberry muffin soap is going to be darker. The soap that he's putting in is going to be white, and this is going to end up actually, after it's cured, probably a brown shade, and some scents do that. So you might want to check if you're concerned about color. There are soap dyes that you can buy too, but we really, at this point, don't care. We just want some bars of soap. And this is really cheap and easy. Other than, you know, it taking forever. Even really, if you wanted to make them look like, you know, whatever, you could do a little, I don't know, dollopy look. But can you hand me those other molds, please? Or let's do the Lego one for Lennon. Lennon's our son, if you haven't seen him in our other videos. So we're doing, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I'll scoot it over a little bit. He has like these little Lego figure molds, and I'm going to do a few little Lego figures. What would be really cute is if you did have some colorant. I'm not sure if you can use food coloring with soap or not. I bet you probably could. So we're doing these, and they could be, we could put yellow to make them look like the little Lego minifigures. So that's going to be a real cute thing for kids. If you have molds, you can use any like candy molds or like anything like that, like the silicone, because I put a little silicone in that one. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and continue putting these in and get this done, and I'll come back with a few final thoughts. Alright, so the Backwoods Patriot and I have got these filled up, and they are ready to sit for about a day before we pop them out. A lot of people wrap these up in towels to keep the heat in, And in this particular recipe that we followed, this is the first time making this recipe, if I didn't mention that before. It didn't tell us that we needed to do that. So we're just going to go by this recipe and we're going to see how it turns out. So it told us that we can wait until tomorrow or the next day, you know, depending whatever you want to do. But tomorrow it should be fine. We'll pop these out of the silicone molds and then we will put these away in probably a box, you know, so that they won't get moisture, and we'll put them probably in our closet or something like that for about, it said 3 weeks. I'm probably going to go for 4, just to be, you know, because a lot of soap recipes say 4, but we'll do 3 to 4 weeks. And we might check them at 3 and see. But the reason that you have to put them away for that amount of time is that these soaps, while they may be hard, they have to cure. And that's what they're going to be doing in that 3 weeks. So, like I said, I'm going to put some more information down below about the lye safety and what you need to do if you do get some of the lye on your hands. I'm going to put the recipe, and I honestly think that I'm going to go ahead and put the recipe at the beginning of this video, which you'll know if you're watching this video. I'm going to type it in because I got a little crazy and jumbly at the beginning, and I just want to make sure that everybody has the necessary supplies and knows all of the safety precautions that they need to take. So, the Backwoods Patriot, go down a little bit, gives this a thumbs up. Stay tuned. We're going to go ahead and upload this video today, but we will have the part 2 up tomorrow showing you what these soaps are going to look like before you put them away to cure.